Hey guys, thanks for tuning on in to today's video where we are rounding out my top 5, bottom 5 series where I talk about my favorite products from different parts of my collection and some that didn't work out. So if you'd like to know which highlighters worked and which highlighters I would pass on, now knowing what I know, stick around. As always, if something works for me, cool. If it doesn't work for you, it's all good. If you love something that didn't work for me, cool, it's all good. Please do not take offense to anything that I am talking about in these videos from a brand perspective, from a product perspective. If you've seen a few of my videos, you do know how I like to talk about products, review products. It's all good. If I didn't talk about something though that you do love or you dislike and want to warn people about, don't forget to comment that in the comments down below. But, whew, y'all, I got a lot to talk about from a highlight standpoint. So it's weird. I love highlighters, but I never use them really. Like in my videos, you don't see me using a lot of highlighters. On Instagram, you don't see me using a lot of highlighters. And they're just kind of like, it's probably one of my favorite products, but at work, I don't want to look super dewy and glowy and all, crazy and all over the place on my videos. You guys see this lighting. Like if I just had like a little highlight strip, I would look insane. So I am a slight collector of highlighters. I just think I need to find ones that work in a more conservative environment so I can start wearing them more. But I've got everything from drugstore, more indie brands, all the way up to Sephora, kind of middle of the way. Not super crazy prices, but y'all know I love Sephora, so gotta throw some of those brands in there. But let's go ahead and jump on in. Y'all bear with me, it's gonna be one of my longer videos, but I'm trying to just give you a sense of how I feel about stuff. So this is a combo of, it's all highlighters looking at it. Just kidding. All right, let's go ahead and go. So this is my first pick. This is a Sonia Kashuk Chic Luminosity Bronzer in the shade 40. This got a little popular on Instagram at a point in time. I use it as highlighter, but it is very pigmented, very potent, so a little goes a long way. I think there are multiple shades. Oh, that's another thing. So yes, I am talking about these shades from the standpoint of my complexion. If we are not the same shade, it's all good. Maybe take into account brand, formula, my thoughts on it, and then if you are interested in the product, try and find the shade that works best for you. If you're not interested in the product, cool. Dodge that bullet. So I do like this. I purchased this in Target. I don't remember how much it is, but it did feel pricey, but it is worth it. It looks very luxurious and very high end on the skin. So the next one that I like for whatever reason, so I'm kind of all over the place with highlighters. I like super stark white kind of highlights as well as goldeny highlights and some weird shades in between. So this looks kind of white on my skin. This is the Tarte Stunner Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Highlight. My camera is going to struggle to pick up all of these shades, but it's just almost like borderline white on my skin, but it's kind of like a light, kind of white hot gold in the pan. So I do like this. I got this as a sample. A little goes a long way, so take advantage of your samples, folks, if you shop at like Sephora and Ulta. Definitely Sephora, because I remember just getting this on a whim because I was shopping. So the next thing that I use, not quite as a highlight, but like as an all over kind of dewy glow, is the Blackup, oh, I cannot pronounce these names, poudre? Sublime. It's in the shade 1. I'll put it in the description so I sound a little less dumb. But it's just like a really nice light shade on my face. The one thing I don't like about this though is the consistency is a little gummy, and I haven't used it very often, but I'm kind of getting this kind of hard sheen. I was gonna like tap it like it's wood. It's not that bad. It's kind of like this hard sheen on top of it. I don't know for lighter complexions how friendly this is going to be on your skin, so maybe go to Sephora, swatch it, see how you feel. And I think this is it. Yeah, I think I have way more highlighters that I actually don't like than ones that I do, so this is also a first. This is not bad. I don't quite like how it sits on my skin, but man, oh man, these were really popular for a while. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Crown of My Canopy. I do have both shades that are sold in like Rite Aid and Sephora. I just like this one a little bit better. It's weird. This shade is pretty, but I feel like it highlights my problem areas kind of on my cheek. So while I like the color, not quite a fan of how it sits on the skin, but I still use it pretty frequently, so guess it can't be all that bad. This is kind of a surprising one. This is the Benefit What's Up in the shade, is there a shade? It's a soft focus highlight. I have always ignored Benefit. I've said this a few times in some of my other videos. I'll link the kind of weird review I did on one of their products, their deluxe samples. It's just really pretty on the skin. It's very similar to me in like the YSL Too Chic Clot, which is deep in the concealer drawer right now. It calls just like a little bit of extra light to certain parts of your face that you put it on. So definitely wouldn't use it quite like a highlight, but I will highlight with this from time to time. So I do enjoy this one. And looking at what I have on the table, that's it for stuff that I like really like and use every day. Let's talk about things that did not work out so well. Remember my disclaimer, and we're just gonna jump on in. So this is a Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette. It's just chalky, for one. It's chalky. I feel like a lot of Kat stuff is really chalky. So that kind of doesn't work out so well. Depending on which brush I use, how I apply it, it either just looks kind of dull and white or it's like crazy in your face. I think when it first launched, I thought it was a really interesting kind of innovative product just because it can have super crazy pigmentation for these shades, but they almost look kind of white in the pan. So I was pretty shocked by that. What I'm actually finding though is that I don't really use like odd crazy colors, so I'm happy to have it in my collection from a collector standpoint, but just don't get a lot of wear out of it. I don't even really use the shades for like inner corner highlight. It's collecting dust. So this is not like the Anastasia Aurora palette's kind of a similar one. I think Lime Crime has a palette that's kind of these weird funky colors. Wet n Wild has these weird funky colors. They sound neat, but honestly, you just end up wasting your money on them. So I say avoid these from a non-collector standpoint at all costs. Next, I received this. I never did a video on it. This is something I got from Influencer. It's the Marc Jacob. I think they're the Coconut Dewdrops. Yeah. Do You Dewdrops Coconut Gel Highlighter. I don't like the pump on this. A lot comes out at one time, and I am not the best with liquid highlighters, granted, because it's just hard to get just enough to put a reasonable, not crazy amount on your face. But whenever I pump this out, I get enough to just slather it everywhere. Just butter me up and highlight. So while the shade is, it's a pretty shade when it comes out the jar, but it kind of blends a little bit to nothing. Then it's hard for me to use, so it's just kind of not my favorite from like a color usability standpoint. But people really like it. It just didn't work for me. Next, I have kind of in a similar vein. This is just a little too liquidy for me. It's gorgeous though. It really is gorgeous. It's a Sephora Ultra Light Radiant Luminizing Drops. So I'm sorry, it's the Radiant Luminizing Drops in the shade Ultralight. It's really liquidy. This has a nice kind of like stopper though. So like a little bit goes a long way. You just kind of pump the top. I just don't reach for this. It's weird. I don't reach for it. It's just a little too liquidy for my taste, but it is really pretty. Like a really nice soft highlight, or even as a base if you want to put a powder on top. It can work. I think that this has a better kind of pump system than the Marc Jacobs one does. I'm going to talk about all three of these together. Don't really use these anymore. These Liquid Illuminators by NYX. Right. Well, I dropped my stuff. Yeah, I just don't use it. I might resurface these and try using them kind of all over my face for a little bit of a glow, but they're just not my jam. Sometimes that's just good enough. I mean, from a cost standpoint, it's drugstore, so it's great. I feel like when these first came out, people were like, ooh, ah, and now no one talks about them. they're okay. I just think liquid highlights in general are not my jam. So next up, this is by Makeup Revolution. It's kind of seen as a dupe for one of the Bobbi Brown shimmer sticks. This is the Vivid Shimmer Brick and Bronze Kiss. This thing is a hot mess. It's just like super powdery, but it's like chunky powder. You can get a crazy blinding highlight, but it's very scratchy. Mixing these doesn't really fare well. I haven't tried the individual shades as like toppers for eyeshadow. They could be really pretty. It's kind of a miss for me. I wish I would have just spent the money on the Bobbi Brown shimmer stick. This does come in several shades. I've got kind of like a pinky one, but it just also highlights my problem areas. Pass for me. And this is pretty, but the formula, I'm not a fan of cream to powder in general. I just don't like it. I don't like the experience. This is the Essence So Glow Cream to Powder Highlight in the shade 20, Bright Up Your Life. How pleasant. I'll try and open it for you guys. Whenever I use this, it's really pretty. It's really soft. It just always picks up the rest of the product under my, that I'm wearing. Say under my skin? Girl, no. Yeah, it always picks up the rest of the product on my face. So whenever I use it, I just end up like, it takes off my foundation. So from a formula standpoint, not great. Pretty color. This is some Instagram, YouTube made me buy it bullshit. I'm so mad that I own this. This is the Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Sun Dipped. When I went, I swear, I feel like the lady at Sephora recommended the wrong shade thing quad to me, because they make another one, and I've always kind of kicked myself for not getting it, because these two look the exact same on me almost, and then I don't really use these other two. Y'all, I've had this for 2-3 years. It looks like I maybe got it last week, because I don't use it. This is damn near brand new. I had no business buying it. I don't reach for it at all. I've thought about selling it, and then I always am like, no, don't sell it, because once you sell it and the one chance you do want to use it and you don't have it, you're not going to go rebuy it. But why did I buy this? I'm just mad. I don't use it. The shades are so similar. I mean, I might pop one of these out and, I don't know, do something with it, kind of stick another color in, but these look too similar on my skin to justify spending the money. And then lastly, this is by Hikari. I got it in my Ipsy bag. It's very similar in thoughts to this Makeup Revolution product. It's pretty much the exact same. I should have talked about these together, but this is the Radiate Shimmer Brick. It just, my God, it just did not work. Whatever this glitter is, it's just like super chunky, if you can see it. That's what it looks like on the face, these like little specks. it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of your face to not look like shitty after you put it on. And I have very textured skin, so I think that's the reason why I don't wear a lot of highlight, even though I love it. My skin is so textured. Just putting highlight on really calls attention to everything with my face. So this doesn't really do anything. It's got me out here taking L's left and right. So that's that. Next, I thought to kind of round this out are two products I want to use a little bit more. This is the Seraphine Botanicals Luminude in the shade, does it have a shade? I don't think so. Anywho, it is gorgeous. It's kind of like a peachy bronze, kind of all over illuminator. And it's not super liquidy, so I feel like I can work with it a little bit better. Love this. Want to use it more. And then this is the Sephora Starlight kind of drops. Like, it's the exact same product as this one, but this shade is just slightly more unique. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a pinkish shade. I think it'll look really nice going into fall, winter. I'm trying to move into just like lighter, softer looks. Like today's look is very light, very soft. And I think this will do a good job. Just kind of a little dot situation right here. Should look pretty bomb. So, whew, I'm out of breath. That is it, you guys. That is everything that I own and want to talk. Oh, it's not everything I own. Let me know if any of these made your list. They didn't. Any tips, any tricks, any knowledge you want to share with the crew. Comment all that good stuff down below. Like always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you've seen a few of my videos, I think about 70% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So just think about it if you have seen a few of my videos. You can also turn on the notification bell. I am trying to kind of get the posting science down because I do post a lot, but I don't necessarily make the most efficient videos for uploading all the time. And I enjoy uploading all the time. So I'm still working on that. I will see you guys shortly. I have more videos to post in this week's series, so stick around. Like I said, I should have already linked the playlist for this series. If not, I'll go ahead and link it. If I have reviewed any of these products, by now the card should have popped up so you guys can see those reviews. But as always, you guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of the day. And appreciate the support. I'm sure I'll see you guys again. So until then, take care. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, you guys.